Take a look at this web. It represents the roughly 7,000 languages spoken around the world today. But watch closely. About a third of these nodes are dimming, vanishing completely from the human record as languages go extinct. Yet, while hundreds of tongues fade away every century, a few specific lineages have remained in use for thousands of years. Ask a room full of linguists which of these survivors is the absolute oldest, and you'll trigger a fierce debate. Some champion Chinese or Tamil, others point to Hebrew or Arabic. To settle this, we first have to eliminate the languages that exist only in the archaeological record. Sumerian, for example, appears on the earliest clay tablets, but it is an extinct language. Nobody speaks it at the breakfast table. The core of the debate hinges on the definition of continuity rather than mere archaeological age. To find the oldest truly living language, we have to examine the three distinct survival mechanisms ancient cultures used to cheat death. The first survival mechanism is adaptation. A language survives by evolving over massive stretches of time. Consider the baseline of modern Europe. An English or French speaker today cannot easily read texts from just a few centuries ago. The original phonetics and grammar have drifted away from their ancient Latin roots. We see a similar process in Asia. Classical Chinese served as a rigid, standardized written script dominating the region for centuries. But modern spoken Mandarin branched away from that ancient script. The spoken word moved into its own distinct vocabulary. Tamil boasts a similarly deep antiquity. Its historical record stretches back to the 3rd century BCE through the collection of Sangam literature. Yet the Tamil spoken today has dropped many of those ancient phonetics and significantly shifted its grammatical rules. These languages survived the millennia, but only by evolving into new entities. It's a linguistic ship of Theseus. If you replace all the parts over time, is it still the same ship? The second survival mechanism involves a language dying in daily use, but being kept alive inside a religious setting. Hebrew is the prime example of this liturgical freeze. For centuries, it ceased being a daily spoken language, used instead for prayer and religious literature. Then, about 150 years ago, the Zionist movement orchestrated a deliberate, highly organized revival to bring the language back to the streets. To modernize it, they took ancient roots, many shared with Aramaic, and blended them with European linguistic structures to construct modern Hebrew. While Hebrew's history spans 3 millennia, its timeline as a continuously spoken mother tongue was broken and reconstructed. This brings us to the final mechanism, a language that neither mutated its core structure nor suffered a break in daily use. Classical Arabic, or Fusha, stands as a historical anomaly. The arrival of the Quran required absolute precision. To preserve the exact meaning of the text, the language was effectively locked in place. This diagram models tajweed, a rigorous science of oral transmission designed specifically to lock in exact pronunciation and prevent phonetic data loss across generations. Alongside this phonetic lock, early scholars documented the grammar and morphology into comprehensive dictionaries to stop regional dialects from drifting away from the standard. The definitive early codification is Al-Khalil's 1,300-year-old dictionary, Kitab al-Ain, which mapped out the precise rules that are still used today. Because of this strict early framework, the language absorbs modern vocabulary, like electricity or internet, without altering its underlying morphological roots. While local street dialects certainly mutated, core Classical Arabic remained a living and structurally unchanged system for over 1,400 years. Returning to our original debate, the winner depends entirely on how we define the premise of the question. If we're looking for the oldest recorded text, Sumerian takes it. If we measure by the oldest continuous lineage, Tamil and Chinese are the clear frontrunners. But if the criteria require a language to be continuous, structurally unbroken, and actively used today, Classical Arabic stands alone. This results in a unique practical reality. A modern Arabic speaker can open a text written well over 1,000 years ago and read it with full comprehension. Languages don't survive by accident. They endure because a people meticulously construct the tools to refuse to let them die.